General Paxton, give us the state of play in Texas and this search you have ongoing for your absconded Democrat lawmakers.
Well, how ironic that they go to Illinois, Massachusetts, and New York, where three states that are probably the most gerrymandered in the country. Massachusetts has about 40% Republican voters and no Republican congressman. How gerrymandered can you get? And yet that's their complaint, that somehow we're doing something that is highly unusual in Texas. We're not. We're just trying to adjust for the massive population that we've gotten from states like Illinois and California and Massachusetts. So all we're doing is dealing with the population influx from those states.
Yeah, with everyone from those blue states coming to Texas, I guess the road less traveled is from Texas there, and that's where they are. But if someone wants to make a rational, reasonable argument against maps, isn't the place to do that in your lawmaking body where people can debate and discuss and then vote? I think what a lot of Americans don't really understand is this notion that if you're not getting your way, you just get to take your marbles and run to Chicago. What remedies does the state of Texas have in that circumstance?
So we're looking at a couple. One, I mean, they could have been locked in before they left. We didn't do that. That would have been up to the Speaker of the House. We can arrest them. The challenge being that they're in a state where we have to go into that state and get help from law enforcement there. And you can imagine how hard that would be in the states that they're in. We're also attempting on Friday, if they do not show up, to start removing some of these people from office. So we're doing the things we can. Otherwise, in the past, they've done this 2 other times. And by the way, this is the only issue they ever leave on. We just outweigh them, and we continue to call special sessions. The governor can do that, and eventually they either get too cold or they have to come back and see their family or something.
Yeah, I don't know what would be worse punishment, being arrested and brought to a jail in Texas or having to stay in Chicago. It's almost like punishment itself that they've gone there. But your office has talked about the filing of quo warranto petitions. Can you walk us through the operational effect of that? Could supervisors of elections or could your state election officials actually start calling for elections to replace these people on extended vacation?
Yeah, so we were going to file this on Friday. We gave them until Friday because that's when the Speaker put a deadline. So we need you back by Friday, or there are going to be consequences. So if we do not see them return on Friday, we are going to file some of these quo warranto actions against some of the legislators to try to remove them from office, since they are not accomplishing the mission for which they were sent, which is to show up and vote.
The financing network that has allowed these folks to take plane rides and stay out of town has received some scrutiny. If someone is paying to induce the lawmakers of Texas to leave, abandon their position, to unlawfully frustrate the activities of the legislative body, could those financiers also be the subject of some review by your office or other prosecutors?
As a matter of fact, that had just happened. We are in the process today of sending out they're like almost civil investigative demands. They're like interrogatories to ask. We oversee all charities, so we are asking them to provide information on exactly what you're talking about.
Are you concerned that Governor Pritzker, who's somewhat boasted about being the host for these folks in Chicago, may be involved in that financing effort?
You know what? We're going to ask all the questions and find out who's involved, whether it's Beto O'Rourke, whose organization seems to be very involved. That's who we're asking. But if there are others involved, we're going to find out. And if it's illegal, we're going to push them towards being held accountable.
I did want to ask you a question about another matter. We are seeing President Trump's deportation agenda really take hold and achieve great success. They've had to target some of the sanctuary jurisdictions with extra attention. Is that because they're getting a lot of help and coordination and cooperation from state officials like your office in places where you don't want to be a sanctuary for illegals?
That's exactly right. We do everything we can to help them. I think it's much easier in Texas to get cooperation from our government. We have obviously dealt with the illegal immigration from the Biden administration. It's been a major impact on us. And so we want to do everything we can to push these people back to their own countries.
And what are you noticing at the border and with your state law enforcement officials who are regularly interacting with these immigration stakeholders?
It's been night and day. From The end of the Biden administration, we're still, we were having hundreds of thousands of people come across the border to literally a trickle as soon as President Trump came into office. It is amazing what enforcement of existing law can do, as opposed to the Biden administration completely ignoring the law and saying, we don't care what federal law says, we're going to import as many people as we want. And that's exactly what they did.